Surprised you haven't.
Kraken Up, the Carpy's podcast, where we talk everything Carpies. Here's your host, Derek Carpoletti.
So, I guess a lot of people, especially the RC guys who order with us, they know Evan, but they don't know the Evan. How did you end up at Carpy's?
Man, it's all really about timing. It's just, I was right out of my second year in college, graduated. It was right after the pandemic, so everything was just slowly opening back up. And I didn't have a job because I worked at Mickey's as a dishwasher for like 4 years, and they had to get laid off because of COVID. Obviously, they couldn't be open, so. But I was just scrolling Facebook, and there's an ad, or a post for Carpy's looking for graphic designers, and of all people, I messaged Mrs. Christensen, and I asked her, what do you think? Do you think this is something I should do? And she said, yeah, definitely, I'll put in a word for you. And she gave me some of my artwork for my portfolio that I lost years ago. And yeah, I just sent a message and got the interview.
And for those who don't know, Amber Christensen is the media communications teacher at our local BOCES, which is like a technical trade school
The
for
real
like high
OG.
school. Yeah. And honestly, like I would say probably 3 to 4 of the 6 of us that work there, 3 out of the 6 of us that work there are graduates from that class. So yeah, it's been a good pool to pull good employees from, for sure.
It's a small world indeed. Everybody knows Amber, I guess.
So-
She's just a person to know.
Yeah. Yeah,
She lets you know her.
I'm trying to get her on the podcast. I think she's nervous, believe it or not.
Understandable, but she would be a wonderful podcast interviewee.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's surprising that she seems nervous about it being, I mean, most of the people who are listening probably don't know her, but she,
Oh boy,
she's
yeah.
a wealth of information. She's a personality for sure, and she's definitely not afraid to talk. So we'll get her on here for
in the
sure.
best way. In the best way. I feel like she would love it once she got the hang of it, for sure.
Yeah, and I owe her payback. She was a person who helped get me one of the awards at BOCES that forced me to do a speech that I totally butchered. So
You do need retribution for that, and I think a podcast would be fantastic. Imagine the stories she could tell.
oh my god, it'd be awesome. So you said you had just graduated from school before the pandemic, from college.
Yeah.
What were you going to college for?
I was originally going for it was IT, computer information systems, so just a lot of back end stuff. I did a little programming and then just the basics. But that's the avenue I was originally going down, because I used to love just playing with computers and doing all that stuff. But once I got to school, it kind of dawned on me that this might not exactly be what I want to do, just because, I don't know, I like doing stuff with computers, but it doesn't fill me with joy, like being creative and doing art stuff. Like, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. Being creative is clearly your passion. What does your day-to-day look like at Carpy's?
All right, day to day at Carpy's it's a lot of creative thinking. It's a lot of how do I say it? It's a lot of brain power day to day. But an average day is you come in, I work 9 to 5, and then sometimes sometimes weekends I'll do work on if necessary. But you come in, sit down, get the laptop up, get all the papers from the day previous, and just start going to it. Look up ideas. It's a lot of searching, looking at references, and looking for new font ideas and number ideas. So it's a lot of creative thinking as well.
So when you started Carpies, the RC department wasn't what you started doing. You originally came in and did a lot of our T-shirt and like signage
Yeah.
graphics.
Mm-hmm.
And as the RC portion of the business grew, it needed a full-time person to specifically focus on that. And a lot of people, when they ask about how many wraps we do, and I end up having to tell them that we have a guy who full-time does RC wraps, it's
Yeah.
almost hard for them to believe that there's that many people
Mm-hmm.
ordering RC car wraps.
It's a nine to
How
it's a
many?
9 to 5, man.
Sometimes longer.
Yeah, sometimes longer.
How many wraps a day do you typically design?
All right, so, oh boy. So typically a day, I guess it always depends on the time of year and what's going on, and if there's a big race coming up, like the snowbirds or something like that, and people are getting ready to get their season started. But I mean, 7, 8 original full design wraps a day is usually what ends up on my plate, and then you get ones that are recreations of cars and ones that I've already designed in the past, so those take up less time. It's a very volatile schedule. I feel like some days, depending, I can get 4 or 5 days worth of reps done if I'm really dedicated, and there's a lot of stuff that I've done before in there. And there's like radio reps don't take as much time as a big car rep and stuff like that, depending. And the ones that take up the most time, which I like doing a lot, are the replications of people's sprint cars or any cars that they have. So they'll send pictures of their family car or cars they race, and it's always good. I always like to try and get it as close as possible because it's always nice to see the reaction of people when they have a miniature version of their own creation in their hands.
Yeah, those are definitely cool. So like some of them I've seen that you've done. People had like you said, their family had raced like big cars, 10, 20 years ago, and they're getting into the RC game, and they want their wrap to match like their grandfather's late model from 20, 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they love that. Like it's pretty neat to kind of see that the whole project kind of come to life.
My favorite are the pictures we get in the emails of them next to the car. The
Oh
mini
yes,
version or like on the hood or something like that. I love it.
yep, yeah. One of my favorite photos of that kind of thing is our boy Kevin Smith, who was on
Mm-hmm.
the previous episode. He worked with the NOS Energy Sprint car, and he worked on the team, so he was in the shop daily. He got the replica wrap, and he brought it in and sat it like on the tire of the real car, and they look
Yeah.
exactly the same, just like a scaled down version.
Yeah, that would be something to I don't know if you can pull it up and show it on screen and edit, but I think
Yeah,
those are my favorite things. It's just the ones that get me the most are ones of people who've passed, like their grandfather, maybe their dad raced recently or in his youth and he passed away, and they want like in memory, and then it's their sprint car, or it's their late model, and it's like really shitty grainy photos, but I always love to do the best I can to get them exact, and they always love it and appreciate it, and it just uh I think that's one of the main reasons why I like doing it so much.
right. And so, what would you say is the most? I have my answer for you, but I'll let you
Hmm.
go first. What
Okay.
is the most challenging part of your job?
Oh, this is a big question. I feel like the creative side of my job probably isn't the most challenging yet. I mean, it when I'm doing like 8, 9, 10 custom wraps a day, and I'm trying to make new designs and do them all differently and make stuff that doesn't copy anything too close, and I want everything to look distinct from each other. that's definitely difficult. But I feel like the most difficult part is making sure the wraps come out printed the exact same as I designed them and getting them all perfect, the exact colors people see, as close as we can, because sometimes it's difficult getting the colors to match because it's a whole different medium print, the physical and the digital. But I feel like now that I've been doing it for so long, it's becoming easier, but still getting it down right and wanting to get everybody there exactly what they imagine or what they get in their proofs.
And that's incredibly hard as someone who did a lot of the RC stuff prior to you taking full control of it. It's people, a lot of people who don't understand how it works, and they shouldn't. I mean, they're not really involved in
Yeah.
it. But like understanding screen color to print color, the fact that the car is like 13 inches long, and you
Yeah.
have 1/8 inch logos on there, like getting those to print. I mean, we do, I would say, a pretty good job of getting that kind of detail, but that's incredibly hard to get.
Especially when
And
we were doing fluorescence.
oh, don't get me started on that.
That's a whole different podcast.
Oh yeah, you need like that's a 3-part series. What I would have imagined your answer would be that a lot of people don't know you're not a race fan.
Oh,
You have never
yes.
raced RC cars.
No.
And that had to have been a pretty big learning curve to just understand like the names of the quarter panels, the wings, the A post, the B post, the C post, just the general like what there's a design curve to race cars.
Yeah.
So like understanding what looks right in certain situations, obviously, and so you get that down. But then like there is another style that you could do, but it's not as common. So to learn all of that with no experience in
Yeah.
that realm, we kind of weaned you in. When I was doing a lot of the RC work, I would have you help me out with like building some of the base of the files. And then we kind of weaned you in, and you picked it up incredibly fast, and you do a good job with it. And hence that's why you're the man
Yeah.
in charge of it now.
Yeah, it all comes full circle. But yeah, I was definitely weaned in, doing a lot of backgrounds and doing numbers, doing logos, especially recreating logos. That's 99% of it at this point, is making logos, making custom logos, doing that sort of stuff. But definitely the learning curve. Yeah, never having. I mean, I've gone to races once or twice in my life, but obviously I'm not a big fan. I've never really watched NASCAR. I've never watched any dirt racing, and yeah, I've never done RC car racing. But I feel like you did make it a lot easier for me whenever I had questions, or the templates you make and just helping me learn it. I feel like without you and anybody else, I mean, you all like racing there, so without you guys, it'd be a hell of a lot harder to learn all this stuff.
The culture at Carpy. So you said that we're all into racing and we're all willing to help. Now you can give an honest answer here. You don't have to ask us just because you're on the Carpy's show.
Oh God, I hate
But
all
what
these
is the
people.
culture at Carpy's?
Oh, it's horrible. We all hate each other. Derek hits me. It hurts. No, it's great. That's what I always say, that where you work is about the people. I mean, whatever you do for a living and whatever job you're doing, it can be menial labor, it can be creative arts, it can be working at a desk, typing away at Excel sheets, but it's all about the people. And the culture at Carpies, I feel like I fit in very well. It's a lot of joking around, but when we need to be serious, we're serious. We take the job and we get it done. But when we do the job well, we're all happy and we all get along. I mean, It's a lot of staying after 5 o'clock and just talking in the back room. We do a lot, and it's a lot of, like I said, joking during the day and getting lunch and the birthdays and all that. It's more like a family, you know.
Yeah, I would agree. At least that's the atmosphere we try to build.
Hmm.
Obviously, there's times, especially in the summer, when we're just all overwhelmed and kind of exhausted and irritated. But ultimately, I would say like the vibe is usually pretty good. You know, everyone
Hmm.
Earl's changed the back room vibes
Earl's great.
110%.
We all love Earl. It's good to have
I I
another
I
body.
I feel like he's so animated and just excited all the time that Mo just
Yeah.
absolutely hates it.
It's yeah, he's the yin to Mo's yang, that's for sure. But
Oh,
yeah, we all get along good. He was a great addition. It's good to have another person there to cuz I mean, it's me and Mo in the back room and then you three, you Seth and Audra out in the front. It could get a little quiet when me and Mo aren't talking about anything, but Earl brings an energy and it's a great energy.
yeah. And it's weird because we're like we have six people that work there, and we're all, well, not all, but majority of us are very different people. Like
Mhm.
from Seth to me, from me to you, from you to Mo.
Yeah.
And then, Earl's kind of the neutral point in all of that, but he has a little bit of interest in what everyone does or likes. But it's
Yeah, it's like
definitely,
we can play a game of Guess Who with the Carpy's crew, that's for sure. We'd all have very distinct features in
yeah.
our personalities and our the way we work. But I feel like it all fits together very well. Opposites attract, and it's just a, a good recipe, you know.
So it's Sunday. Let's end the boring work conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I hate this job. Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
me too. So what are some of your interests or hobbies outside of Carpies?
Oh boy, I'm a pretty boring person, honestly. I play video games like any other delinquent 23-year-old, but um I love cooking. I do a lot of that. I do a lot of making my own recipes, doing things from scratch, and I just put together my own seasoning the other day. I mixed a bunch of stuff in my pepper grinder and made a homemade seasoning. I made sesame seeds, cooked some sesame seeds in it. Those turned out good. But yeah, it's a lot of cooking. It's a lot of I love animals. We have a kingdom here. We have two cats and two dogs, but we just got a new kitten, so she's been a little shit. So that takes up a lot of my time. But yeah, other than those things, I'm a pretty boring person.
So you said you just got a new cat. Is that the cat that broke into your house the other day?
No, oh yeah, no. So that was just a stray cat that found our basement window open, and that thing stunk so bad it still smells in this room. Like I've been airing it out for like 4 days. But no, he's still around. Yeah, I see him outside, but he snuck in and I found him behind my dog found him behind our couch, my dog Peanut. And he was a good cat. It was a calm cat, but yeah, we couldn't keep it. It was stinky and but we called a cat rescue and they brought something out and we're slowly trying to get it in a crate to get somebody to take it to get taken care of because it's a stray cat and I always hate to see those. But yeah, the new kitten is a tiny little shit. Bean put a picture up here. My little cat Buttercup. She's only 9 weeks old. I got him from Bessaker, one of the guys over in the building we work next to. They had a bunch of kittens and a bunch of cats, and he wanted rid of it, so he took it, and she's been very good so far.
So that so its name's Buttercup. So you have peanut
Mm-hmm.
butter and Buttercup. Um, what's your next pet's name? Is it gonna be like Reese's Caramel?
Reese's Caramel, Milky Way, could do Skittles. We were looking at a cat at the SPCA before whose name was Skittles, so I guess it's just all food and treats.
So you say not a lot of exciting is happening for you right now outside of Carpy's, but you just had a pretty big public engagement.
Yes,
Want to tell us
yes,
a little bit about
indeed.
that?
So, me and Alexis, my girlfriend of 6 years at this point,
Picture of
love,
Alexis.
yeah, picture of Alexis, picture of the St. Bonaventure Riley Center, picture of a taco. So, uh, yeah, it all came together pretty quickly since St. Bonaventure, our local college, the basketball team, the St. Bonaventure Bonnies, who are doing okay this year. They were having a game there, and me and Alexis, through her work, she won courtside box seats for us, and she was very excited about it. So I put two and two together, and I thought, well, I've been waiting for a good time, and I know we have connections with Bonnie's because we do a lot of work for them. So I got Audra to get in contact with someone from Bona's who runs the events,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked him if there was any way I could do a courtside proposal. And bing, bang, boom. In like 3 days, they put it together, and we were there. I got the ring the night before. It was all put together pretty quick, but I think it went very well. Everything went perfect. She was happy. I'm happy, but it was a very nerve-wracking experience. I had had a few seltzers beforehand in the VIP room. Had to get some of those down, but everything went off perfect. It got on ESPN. It was very nice. In the game, they won. So if they didn't win, I would have had to take the ring back. I told her if that's just how it has to happen. But everything went good, and we're planning the wedding slowly but surely sometime mid 2025, and we'll be all set. We're doing very well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't imagine like doing a public engagement like that.
Yeah.
To people's surprises, I'm not actually very social and I'm very awkward in public. So, yeah. I mean, I could tell you were very nervous, and she
Oh yeah.
was shocked.
Oh yeah. She had no idea.
There's definitely raw emotion was involved. Here's a video clip.
Yeah. Here's a video clip.
But yeah, that was cool that we were able to get that put together. We had been doing a lot of the advertising signage in the Riley Center at Bonaventure, and so yeah, I think it was kind of perfect timing for all those things kind of to come together and make that happen. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah. Everything worked out great, and I couldn't be happier with how it went. And shout out to Audra for taking my idea and getting in contact instantly, and the next day we had the plan going. So shout out to her.
That reminds me, I should probably cancel my ESPN Plus membership.
Yeah, it's not really worth it.
No, I got the free trial to watch it, and I forgot to cancel it.
You just buy it forever until you spend way too much money on it. It's still a sunken cost, and you'll just have to start watching sports, I guess.
And then we'll just go out of business.
Yeah, from the ESPN, they just drain us.
So we'll go into a little bit of a rapid round. We had some people send in some questions.
Yes.
We had some questions of our own. So we'll get to it. We got about 5 or 6 of them. If we have time, we'll get through all of them. First question actually came from aforementioned Earl. He wants to know that if they were to make a movie about you, what celebrity would play you and who would play your boss?
So I feel like the best way to do something like that is The Rock and Kevin Hart, their duo. So I feel like I would be The Rock and you would be Kevin Hart. I feel like that's just a solid answer, and
Yeah.
I would pick on you because you're short, and I'd be a big muscular Rock. I mean, I would love to be played by The Rock in an autobiography.
I feel like we both look like such character. We have very similar characteristics.
Yeah, I could imagine you doing a Netflix special for sure.
Yeah. Question 2 came from our RC Facebook group. When will we see Evan behind the wheel of an RC car?
Oh, whenever Derek buys me one. Those things are expensive. But no, I mean, I'm good to do it whenever. I just haven't really, it just hasn't happened yet. You know, it's like the stars haven't aligned, but I'm sure there'll be a day where I'll show up and I'll win. You know, I'll win every race and nobody will stand a chance.
So you are a big WWE fan.
Yes, I do love wrestling.
If we had a walk-in music each day to the shop, what would your walkout song be?
Dragula by Rob Zombie. I have this one ready. It's hard. It gets your blood pumping. It gets me wanting to go. I could go out to the ring and stomp a couple mud holes in people's chests. I could hit a few stunners and slam a few Steve Weisers, you know?
The main question is, would you come out shirtless or shirted?
Shirted to shirtless. Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Obviously, you rip it off. And
Speedo or leather pants?
Assless leather chaps.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mask, face paint, or just your regular face?
It's like the Bane mask, but it's just like that, and then it's a really thin one, so like a gimp.
Oh, man. So if you were to trade places with anyone at Carpy's, who would it be and why?
I don't know. I like my job pretty well, but well, that's a tough one. I wouldn't want to do Audra's job. She deals with too many people. I wouldn't want your job because you have to deal with people in person. So I feel like it'd be probably in the back room. I mean, Earl moves around a lot and he's got a lot going on. So I feel like it'd be a more fulfilling job. So I'd say Earl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can make that happen. He's going on vacation soon.
Well, I feel like you're going to have to hire somebody to do it. Sorry. Or pay me double. That'll work.
I'll pay you half.
Pay me half of what I'm currently earning to do two jobs. Yeah, I feel like that would be very good.
So another popular customer of ours.
Hi.
There's his fiance here. She's just 2 fingers.
Yeah, that's it. That's my hand. That's my fiance.
So one of our big customers, Ryan Ratzloff, he sent in a couple questions. One, how many Carpy's energy drinks can you crush in one day?
Oh, unfortunately, not as many as I could in the past. When we first got it, the first time we got it, I could do 3 or 4 of them. I know that's a very underwhelming number, but I do unfortunately have blood pressure issues, so drinking too many energy drinks may kill me. But if I wanted to, they're so good, I could down a whole case of them easily. If there was no repercussions to my health, I could drink them all day.
Okay. So next episode, I'm going to have a new kart racer that we're sponsoring. But we could probably do a side segment. We can get me, you, Earl. Probably not Mo anymore.
No, yeah, Mo. Yeah, Mo. Yeah.
We could get all 3 of us on. And we could do like one of those hot dog eating contests, but we'll do it with energy drinks.
Okay.
We'll set 15 minutes on the clock, and who can go the hardest?
Is shotgunning allowed?
Yeah, as long as you drink it all.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Right. Deal.
I'm down. Yeah.
And so we got one last question, and it's kind of circles back to the RC wraps. There's a question sent out on Facebook. So you've designed a lot of he quoted it, kick-ass wraps in your time.
That's a good.
How
good,
do you
good
go about? You said you do 10 to 15 of them a day. How do you go about always upping yourself, doing something different? it's hard to do. Some stuff kind of looks similar to others, but for the most part, they're always changing and evolving. From if you look at wraps from last year to this year, they're incredibly more detailed. How do you go about always evolving and doing new stuff?
Man, this is I guess this would I know I said earlier that it's not the hardest part of the job, but it also is very difficult to be creative so much every day. Not to toot my own horn, but it takes a lot of brain power. My giant, yeah, my giant, my giant fat Jimmy Neutron head brain. It 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 gets very weak at the end of the day sometimes after making everything so different. But what I've been doing or trying to do over the past probably year is trying to up myself more and more is do more detail. So more shading, more logos, getting things closer to pictures people want, trying to get things exact, more just the numbers is a big part of that too. It's really hard because there's only so many. I mean, there's so many fonts out there, but a lot of them look the same. And trying to get numbers for people that don't match other numbers, and just because there's so many, I've done so many, it's almost impossible to not rehash some things. But if rehashing is needed, it is. I've been trying to mix it up, redo things in a different style, different colors, different gradients, different more details. I've been watching a lot of videos of different ways to do things in Illustrator and Photoshop. Been using Photoshop more often to get things cleaner and get things more lifelike, things that pop off the page a little bit more. And I think the colors I've been using have been a little bit more rangeful, a little bit brighter than they used to be. So I feel like that's a good way to differentiate. It's tough.
Well, you do a good job with it. Um,
I try.
you know, and there's always problems. There's always gonna
Hmm.
be problems, no matter what you do, how well you do, how much you explain. There's always gonna be people that are gonna be unhappy with things,
Yep.
and that's part of it. But for the volume of work that you do, the very minimal complaints that we get, and not even always your fault.
Hmm.
I'd say you do a splendid job. Um, we wouldn't
That's
want anyone else doing it other than me,
yeah.
of course. But
But yeah, yeah. I'm still following. I'm
um,
still trying to get as good as Derek was.
I'm not very good. I don't really do much design work anymore. A lot of the
Oh
stuff I
yeah,
do now is the easy stuff.
yeah, but it's still a lot. You do your car wraps, you do the shirt stuff, you do a
Mm,
lot.
yeah,
It's a whole different end of the business, though. It's a
yeah,
different. People think it's a lot. It could be the same because it's all graphic art, but it really is just completely different ball games. Trying to take somebody or an intern or somebody who's just learning from doing their like posters and stuff like that, and then pushing them into doing RC wraps and graphics like that. It's really hard to get right away. I feel like I'm very lucky that went I did not go straight from bow season to something like this because I feel like the transition would be a lot harsher.
yeah. And that's actually one thing when you first came in that you've done that any other designers we've had, that in none of them but you have worked out. So um, any other designers we had or interns we've brought in, some of them have been decent, but the thing that you did that nobody else really seemed to do, at least that I've noticed, was like you went the extra mile to learn. Like you said, you watched tutorials, like you took on projects you probably weren't capable of, and were able to figure it out and learn, and then you had that skill set to bring to the next project. And ultimately, from where you were when you got there, which wasn't horrible, to where you are now is night and day for sure.
And that's just the practice. I mean, say you put 10,000 hours into something and you're a pro. I mean, put more than that into it already. So I feel like it's just a lot of time and doing it over, same things over and over and over, and just trying to do it better every time. And it's just, and I'll get better and better as I keep going. The more I do it, the better you get. It's just with anything.
Yeah, and that's just it, you know. Someday you'll have my job, and I'll be just doing nothing all day. It'd be awesome.
Derek will retire, business will go under, I'll get a gambling addiction, and it's just how it'll go. And I'll gamble it all away, I'll lose my house, and you know the story.
Yeah, and that's our 10-year plan. Thanks for watching episode 3 of the Kraken Up podcast. Peace.
Peace.